Hello and welcome to episode 54 of the Youth Intake Challenge with Dulwich Hamlet in the 18th season, where we're trying to fight our way out of the Championship and into the Premier League for the first time in the club's history, and things are going actually remarkably well. So let's update you where we are. First thing to look at really is the schedule. I mean, we got the 1-1 draw on the opening day of the season, which I think we really should have won that game as well in terms of possession and chances. We beat Rochdale in the Carabao Cup first round. Again, it was largely expected against a team that aren't quite to the same standard as us. A 1-0 win against Charlton got us our first victory of the season, and then we went on a really bad run of form. 1-1 with Bolton, got beat 1-0 by Brighton, which is a fairly tight game. Got beat 5-2 by Bristol City. We were in the game for quite a long time in that, but towards the end, an 85th, 89th and 91st minute kind of put pay to any kind of point for us in that match. A 4-0 win against Cambridge in the second round of the Carabao Cup put us into the next round, where we struggled against Aldershot but got through on penalties. Losses at Blackburn and Derby, but we did pick up a couple of points, Plymouth and Swansea, so Tony Dunn getting a couple of goals, and he scored a few more goals recently. About this time we made a bit of a tactical change. It took a couple of games to get into effect. Again, we're narrowly beaten by Derby 3-2, Soggy and Dunk with some goals. And then we went on a really good run, which we've kind of continued for a long time, but we got a 3-0 win at Stoke, Silverio, McAvoy and Roldan. 4-0 at Peterborough, Oza, McAvoy, own goal. We did get a 1-0 loss to Ipswich. We were right down the bottom of the table, which was a bit of a surprise. We'd beaten all the big teams and then kind of lost to Ipswich. 2-1 win away at Reading, Sodge and Dunk. Roldan got one with Silverio in a 2-0 win against Portsmouth. We beat Leicester in the Carabao Cup fourth round, which has put us in a magnificent position. I think we got Man United in the quarter-finals, which is the furthest we've been in the competition. And well, I'm expecting us to get slapped about a bit. I might actually stick this on the end of the episode if I've got time, but we'll see how we get on. A couple draws against Millwall and Sunderland, really good results. A romper stomper 5-4 away win at Middlesbrough, and then we beat Luton and Norwich. We slipped up slightly at West Brom, and then we beat Leeds, who are one of the kind of favourites to go up. So what that means in terms of the league table is we're well up here. We're up in fifth. I mean, I don't know if we're going to make it through playoffs. We don't do very well in the playoffs. Whether we can chase down Barnsley, though, I'm not sure. I mean, form-wise, we're doing really well. If we pick up a few more results, and it's the teams around us we need to beat. We've got Leicester next. They're the kind of games we need to beat. We're doing all right against the teams down the bottom end, and we could maybe go for a second. I think we've got more of a chance going up if we get second, obviously, than if we get in the playoffs, because the playoffs and the extra games, I don't think we ever do particularly well in. Tactics-wise, that's the big change. So we talked about going two up front. We've finally done it. Instead of playing two deeper midfielders, we've got them in the centre. Again, Sodge and Mandanda normally play in the central roles. They're both really good players, top championship players. We've got Oza's championship, Coleman. We've just got a really good spread of players as it currently stands now. Squad-wise, we were doing really well. The eagle-eyed would see Dave White's playing up front at a minute, the 17-year-old Scotsman that came through the youth system. He's played in the last few games, and that's because we picked up an unfortunate injury to Arnal Roldan. He was having a really good season, Roldan. He came in towards the end of last season and kind of, I would say, almost made himself a first-choice competitor for Dunk, if not slightly taking over him. But then he picked up a nasty injury. He's out for, where's he got on here? 7 to 10 weeks, still out. I'm a torn hamstring. I've had one myself. It's not particularly nice. It's probably going to impact his pace as well, which isn't very good. But in terms of his development in the last couple of seasons, he's been doing fantastic. You can see him going up there with the extra exposure. Playing two up front, I think, has benefited both players. Major. So improvement-wise, he's been doing fantastic. He's still relatively young at 19. Him and Dunk together have been playing really well. I think Arnald's playing the deep line role, so you wouldn't have expected him to get as many goals as Dunk, but I think when you look in the squad in terms of goals, he's right up there with him. In fact, Oza's second, and he's another one that's worth mentioning because on left wing, he's only 21, but he's really, really good. He's very consistent, chips in with some goals, very consistent performer in terms of his average rating. Doesn't often get injured either. I know I'm risking a curse by saying that, but again, he has been absolutely magnificent this season. Look at that curve. Huge player for us, going strength to strength, and I think if we can keep him developing, he might be another one that goes into that kind of Premier League bracket in terms of what he can do. And if we can scrape our way into the Premier League somehow, I think he's one of the players that might be able to hold us in the division. It's not been without its problems this season. Huge problems in dynamics with Paul Soggy. He wanted to leave. He was getting a huge number of bids from just about every Premier League team, Paris Saint-Germain, Lyon, just everybody was coming in for him. We kept saying no because he was on a contract till 2043. I did notice in his contract he had a contract extension, so I've triggered it. He's not happy with that, but he's an absolute must-have keeper of a player in the squad. His average rating's phenomenal. He's creative. He gets goals as well. He's only 18. He's now an American international, and he's just our best player by an absolute country mile. And if we can keep a hold of him, we will for as long as we possibly can, because I think he's irreplaceable. He's only had majors in physical and mental. He's still got a little bit to go in terms of his technical attributes, which shows you he can get even better. So again, that's something to really look forward to in terms of this squad and where it develops. As we've seen in the comment section, sometimes one of the things I'm looking for is generate some funds moving forward. Now we've got 3 really good goalkeepers in here. I think realistically, Fehim Kutlu, who came through the latest intake, is going to be long-term number 1 goalkeeper. Felix Ibrahim is the current number 1. So I think realistically we may be cashing on Caden Keys. If we can scrape $1 million or so out of him, we probably do that. I don't know if we need 3 big goalkeepers. The other option is to hold on to him for a bit longer to see if we can develop him into a bit more of a cash cow. Not sure. It might be worth holding on to him to try and get his value to go up somewhat, but without him playing games it's going to be quite difficult to do, unless of course we put him out on loan. So in fact, it's probably worth sticking him out, see if anyone will loan him for a bit, just to get him some exposure and get him to tick up a little bit. Some of the other players in here, I mean, John Derry de Havilland, or Derry John de Havilland, he's having a really good season. Again, potential wise, he still can improve a lot. I think he's going to be another one that falls in that kind of Premier League bracket. It's just really consistent performer, and when he first came through the intake, because it was a number of years ago, I wasn't sure, but he's actually surprised me with his performances, and he just seems to keep getting better and better. So another one that's doing really well this season. And Derek White's going to get some development because he's getting some game time. I think the other issues is it's hard to get midfielders into the squad now with the way the tactics are going. We've got lots of good centre midfielders. It's hard to get them all in there. We have had some issues with Eric Lynch. Wants some more time so he can put his name in the hat for international experience. It's really difficult to play him because Soldier and Mandanda are an absolute first name on the team sheet. Carr's the kind of deputy for Mandanda. Sodge doesn't often miss too many games. Dean Spence sits in there as well, so it's really difficult, and it's something that I'm going to have to manage going forward, but things are looking bright and promising. In terms of developments now, we've got Patrick Pepra. He's in the under-21 squad. He's not gone out on loan anywhere at the minute. Potential to be a Premier League division striker. Again, there's so much promise in this squad now. The last few intakes have brought through some players. Some didn't immediately jump out, but some of them are getting better and better, and I'm really excited to see where this might go. In terms of the under-21s, which I'll do instead of loan, so that's a loan screw, but a huge number of players out on loan. It's probably easier to see them on the under-21 page because it tells you what kind of their potential, etc. is. But you've got a huge number of players here, and 2-star is a threshold for becoming first team competitive. There's lots in there. So even if we do let someone go, or someone gets poached, or we can't renew a contract, we've got some huge players coming in behind. I mean, Michael Ovian, he's just picked up a big injury, but I think his report's potentially Premier League division standard as well. So the future's bright, the future's Dulwich, shall we say. What else have we got for you? I mean, finances is never one that's nice to look at. But we really need more stadium space so we can generate more cash, so we can be fighting at the top end of the table. But that's going to take time. Club vision and board wise, they're just rejecting everything at the minute, mostly based on the funding. So we can't really get too much more in terms of facilities. We've got great training facilities, good youth facilities. We're still exceptional at the top end. We did have the youth level scouted for whether it can go up. It can, just there's no finances to make that step, which is a little bit frustrating. And we'll see where that goes as we move forward. What I'll do then is I'll click through the second half of the season because there's a lot to look forward to. As a bonus, in a minute, I'll just put on the Man United Carabao Cup quarter-final game. We can watch Dulwich get slapped about a little bit by one of the big teams. It gives an understanding of where we are and where we need to go in terms of competing at the top end in the Premier League. But what a good way to end the episode of what's been quite promising. So stick around. We'll get the Man United game on there. We'll see if Dulwich can make another foray, maybe get to a semi-final of the Carabao Cup, which would be absolutely amazing for the finances. I mean, it should be quite good already. Man United coming to town and it's televised, but we'll see if we can wring some more pennies out of it for developing the facilities a little bit further. So stick around and I'll be back shortly. And welcome back for the biggest game of the series so far. I mean, we're playing Man United in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Who'd have thought we'd ever make it to this kind of occasion? Starting lineup for today, we're going to stick with a new formation because it's been working for us. In the previous game, we got a 0-0 draw with Leicester, despite being under pressure. So defensively, it seems quite sound. We just need to find a way to nick a goal. So we've got Ibrahim in goals. We've got a back four of Onyango at left back, Pierre Mulligan centre back, Brewstad right back. I mean, that is nowhere near our first choice centre half pairing or even the left back, but that's what we've got due to fitness, which we'll go through in a minute. We've got Spencer Mandanda in the middle of the park. We've got Oza on the left, Taylor on the right, and we've got Dunk and Pepra making his debut up front. Now, it might come as a bit of a surprise Pepra playing. However, when you look at the fitness of the players we've got around, I mean, Zhang Chung's not ready at left back. He's going to miss out. Remy Littman's injured. Again, he probably wouldn't have featured anyway. Dave White is far too tired to play. Arnaud Roldan's still injured. Silverio's still injured. Keys, third choice keepers, still out injured as well. Paul Sodge far too tired to take a feature in this match. He might come on as a late sub, but I very much doubt it. Adi McAvoy and de Havilland, our normal first choice centre half pairing, nowhere near fully fit. We're going to give them a rest because the league's more important. Coleman as well, not going to take any chances with him because we need him long term for the league if we're going to make a push for the playoffs. Lynch is there on the bench for a bit of midfield stability if we need it, a bit of legs in the second half perhaps. John O'Carr as well, so that's probably the areas it's going to change most because Mandanda's not fully fit really, but his ball-winning presence in there is needed against Man United. So that's what we've got. We're not expecting anything major here. I think it's just more of a run out and just to see some goals and see how good Man United are in the year 2041. But without further ado, let's get into it and see what the mighty Hamlet can do. I mean, again, this isn't that important in the grand schemes of things. Keeping the players fit and carrying on in the league is what we need to do. So we'll go out there. We'll see if we can nick a goal of some sort. It would be always nice for Dulwich to score at Man United. Well, against Man United because obviously we're playing at our ground. I'm not sure they'll be enjoying the occasion at our stadium. But Brewstad with an early ball in. I mean, that's good. We're going to get a corner right at the start of the game. Is it a chance? Oza's going to deliver it in there. Can we get one of our big lads on the end of it? In it goes. I mean, you get a second chance to swing it in. Oh, he has a shot. It's wayward. But I mean, again, it counts as a shot. It might not be on target, but there you go. So a couple of early chances for us. I think that's very much going to change as the game develops. 8 minutes in. I mean, the longer we go in, and without them scoring, I mean, we could potentially eke out some kind of freak 0-0 penalty victory, but I think that's probably about the best we can hope for as Mulligan plays the ball out wide to Oza on the left. And again, it looks really weird because I would have thought we'd be getting hammered from the word go. In it goes to Taylor. We've got our noses in front. Amal Taylor with a goal. A deflected cross it looked like from Oza on the left-hand side. I mean, Onyango, little 1-2. Oza gets some space. Goes to cross the ball. Takes a deflection, I think, off his back. And Taylor is there to slot one in and put Dulwich 1-0 up against Man United. I can't believe it. Can we get 75 minutes to instantly fly by with no more highlights? We've got a corner. Oza will sling it into the box. In it goes. Onyango there with a free header. I mean, we could have made it 2-0. That would have been amazing. Although as an Everton fan, after watching us against Aston Villa last night, I don't think 2-0 is even a lead anymore. Which is, we won't say any more about that because it's getting me down. Oza with the ball down the left-hand side again, being a really good creative presence. Pepper trying to get some kind of snapshot off there, but he can't quite get it past the first player as we approach halfway through the first half. So we've done really well in terms of possession. We've got higher possession stats than them at the minute. We've had more corners, the XG's higher, and we've got the all-important goal. But there's a long way to go in this match as Man United make some breaks forward. Fabiani down the right to Signorini. I mean, that's in, but he looked offside to me there. Is it just me? It must just be me. I thought he looked offside. We'll see it again. Fabiani, one ball down the right-hand side. Oh, is it left back playing? Oh, he looked for the world to be offside to me there, but our little purple patch is kind of faded away. We're back on level terms. You can see now they're creeping into the game. We do have a throw down the right-hand side. Brewstad with a chance to sling it in, but we've been robbed, and looks like they will break quick and fast. Scavacini, they've got lots of Eenies, it looks like. Oh, Signorini on the other side. Scavacini to Signorini, and we are 2-1 down. Oh, how we could have dreamt how it was looking at the start of the game, but Scavacini with the ball into the box. I mean, in between two defenders, a great header. But really, they should be defending that, and we find ourselves 2-1 down. Despite having the better possession and the higher XG, we are 2-1 down, and I think it might start going one way as the game continues. We'll hopefully get into half-time, get to regroup somewhat, and get out for the second half, but I think this is more like what I was expecting it to be. Scavacini in with another one, hits the post again, and we managed to scramble the ball away to stay only 2-1 down. So I think the true the true way of the game is starting to kind of settle in here now. Fleming bursting into the box. Again, we can't shut them down. Vituli, Fabiani, they're starting to get their passing on now. In it goes again. Can't quite clear it. Just can't get the ball off them, really. Frantically trying to scramble the ball away, but they're holding on to it well, and they're just constantly winning it back high up. Into half time then, and it is 2-1, and we'll see how we get on for the second half. So let's get through the half time team talk. Apologies, there's the door. I had to hit someone at the door, but yeah, keep working hard. I mean, there's nothing you can expect out of the players more than that. We're not full strength. It was exciting enough to take the lead, but I think ultimately this game was only ever going to go one way, so we can't be too hard on the players. And the most important thing is they just get through it unscathed. I mean, Dunk, Pepper, there's not much in terms of substitutes. You might get Ozer off for a rest because he's playing particularly well. I mean, Dunk looks like he's giving everything. There must be a better sub for Dunk than Clifford. I mean, what we could do is Dunk for Lynch. Play one up top. Swap Lynch and Spence, and go like that, so slightly deep. I mean, Taylor on the right struggling as well, but we'll leave him on and we'll carry on, see how we go from that. I mean, well, we'll go Taylor for Soggy. I mean, he's the only player we've got who can play out there on the right hand side. Brewstad with a throw then. It looks like we've been penned in deep. Again, we're struggling to get out and really create anything now at this stage of the game. But we've got a lot of players now playing fatigued and some out of position as well. So Lynch now, he's come on. He's probably one of the only ones fully fit. Can he make a difference? Ozer looking to create something again. I mean, again, we can't really penetrate their back line. Can we get down that right hand side? I mean, if Brewstad would have made that run a bit further on, we could have maybe got in there. Sod with a header, but that's a very tame effort to try and get back in. We'll try and work the ball into the box. Mandanda for Carr, one of the changes I thought would have come. Again, some of these players not going to be able to last the full 90 minutes, but we've got the final 15 minutes. We're still at 2-1. There is a chance we could maybe get back in it. All we can do really is encourage the players and hope we get something on it. I don't want to go too gung-ho and end up getting a slap in. Ball goes over the top to Owusu. He probably should have scored there. Been saved, but with final 10 minutes, can we stay in the game? 2-1, there's no shame in it. I mean, even 3-1, there's no shame in that either, as we keep trying to get the ball into the box. I mean, everyone's shattered. Oza to Lynch again. We just can't penetrate that back line. Sodge keeps it in, gets ourselves a corner. Final 9 minutes, but again, we're not even a highlight from the corner. The game's slowly drifting away from us. We will go very attacking for the final couple minutes. We might as well throw the kitchen sink for the final 5. Although I think by opening up, I think Man United might be able to. Yeah, we'll trim it back to cautious and see the game out. A valiant effort, a good effort by all the players. I think 3-1 against Man United is no shame in it. It would have been nice when we went a goal up to kind of see it through and eke through into a semi-final, but I think on the full basis of the game, this is probably a fair reflection, this result. So 3-1 wasn't to be. Again, I think they did do themselves proud. They're not happy with it. I think we did. But I think it shows that if we do go up to the Premier League, we're not going to be absolutely destroyed week in, week out. So what I'll do is I'll play through the next few games of the season and get us into the youth intake. Oh, in fact, that's wait. I haven't given the youth intake preview. That's what the episode was kind of going to be about as well. The preview did come through. Oh, how crazy is that? I forgot to do the intake preview. It was before the Bournemouth job. Youth intake preview. Oh my god, how embarrassing. But there we go. So we've got a goalkeeper coming through, a striker and wing backs. Not traditional left and right full backs. Wing backs playing slightly forward. Again, depending on what comes through. I mean, there's only one on the left hand side on that prediction there. We'll see what comes through. I don't pay too much credence to this because sometimes it's not particularly accurate, and actually the ones that are A's aren't actually your best players. So out of that, I think when everyone likes a striker, I don't think we particularly need another goalkeeper. A wing backs is something that could interest us in terms of formation change, but we need to, and some more midfielders is always good to have. So once again, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed the big Man United game. Apologies for not putting the preview in earlier. I did. It was forefront of my mind, but I played the extra Leicester game, so I'd be able to give you the Man United game in the Cup quarter-final. And but we've got it anyway. So until next time, enjoy yourselves, enjoy the weekend. Try your best if you're an Everton fan like me, not to be miserable all weekend. And I'll catch you for the next episode. Take care.